So my wife and I were going to dress up like an old couple for Halloween one year, but instead she went as a biker chick. I was the old man. It was awkward.
Hello! Today we're talking about old.
Why, I will never sound like that. I don't. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to the channel. M. Night Shyamalan is back with his brand new film, a horror thriller called Old. The cast is great, the premise is interesting, but is this movie worth a watch? Let's do it. So this is a thriller about a family on a tropical holiday who discover that the secluded beach where they are relaxing for a few hours is somehow causing them to age rapidly, reducing their entire lives into a single day. And let's start with this. One thing I love about M. Night Shyamalan is the fact that he goes for it no matter what he is doing. Every film, even the ones that I really don't like, they at least swing for the fences in a way that makes me respect him as a director. Now, sometimes it does go a bit too overboard. Great example is The Last Airbender. And then other times, we get something so magical and fresh like Unbreakable that it spawns an entire universe that I really respond positively to. And Old is one of those films that, at least it feels like on its surface, M. Night is going back to his roots of constructing a very different feeling horrific premise and putting our characters through such torment, but it also invites the audience in such a way that feels refreshing, but at the same time, there is a little bit of hesitancy just because of the way that this entire film is constructed. From the opening few scenes, our focus is really on the kids at the beginning of the movie. They're with their parents, we're on vacation, we're going to this very strangely put together resort, and just the way that everyone operates at this place, you know something's up, you know something is sketchy. But then our characters, they all meet at this beach, this secluded place with these huge mountainous rocks, but a beach and some sand that's really nice and it's pretty until weird things start to happen. And when I say weird things, I mean finding dead bodies and realizing that people are starting to not only act differently, but their body is beginning to transform, and it takes a little bit for our characters to learn what's going on, but it's in the title. They are slowly getting older. And because you have kids and because you have elderly characters, this is affecting everyone in a different way. So things begin to happen. And I will say everyone was pretty calm about it at first, even with the physical transformations. Everybody's like, oh, I'm aging. This is weird. So some of the responses from the characters didn't seem maybe as natural as you would expect. But again, with an M. Night movie, there are always quirks to characters that may not feel natural. And I'm always trying to figure out, is this intentional or is this something that just doesn't work in the context of the film? Another criticism I have is, the fact that some of the camera work here, especially on the beach, there's one moment in particular at the beginning when the kids are chasing each other. I'm not entirely sure if the camera work, the cinematography was up to par, or when comparing it to how juicy this premise is, I don't know if it complemented it in a way to where it all came together and created this cohesive experience. I do wish some of the cinematography was, I don't want to say better, because it's all about the artistic vision. I wish it was a bit different to where it kind of broadened the scope of the entire situation. Some of this shaky cam, I wasn't entirely on board with it. And not only that, but the shot selection, the camera placement, some really awkward over-the-shoulder shots of the kids' backs, and we get some voiceovers happening, stylistic decisions that I just wasn't in tune with. And I don't know if it complemented what we were getting from the actual premise, which was really fascinating at the beginning. And as these things begin to happen, people are slowly being affected in different ways. And that's when M. Night really comes to play, right? Because he's really good at amplifying that tension and having you as an audience on your toes, because you just don't know what's going to happen next. And if there's one thing I can praise about this movie, it's the fact that it's not predictable in the least bit. I mean, you can probably see where we're going to end up at a point in the film. Not going to spoil anything, but there are definitely things that happened that had me just shocked, baffled. Sometimes I was laughing, but I didn't know if I was laughing because it was cheesy or if it was just I was very uncomfortable, which is probably the mission of the movie. But yeah, you're going to deal with some crazy things here. We deal with cancer. We deal with memory loss, having children. You see that in the trailer. As you get older, you start to lose your sight. You start to lose your hearing. Everyone's going through different stuff. But a lot of the adults, they're having to worry about their kids because, obviously they're younger. You're going to see more of that physical transformation. And when we first start to see that, I mean, it's some of the most intense, horrifying moments that I've seen all year. And that was handled in a way to where it's eerie, it's creepy. Some of it, again, I want to use the word cheesy because I was unintentionally laughing. Not in the same way as I did during The Happening, because The Happening I was laughing more so for the dialogue. And although there is some exposition, some lines in this film at the beginning, they're saying, I can't wait to hear you sing when you're older. And I'm just like, it's because it's old, the movie. And even though we get off to a really slow start at the beginning, I get it, we have to build this situation up. It all is amplified like 2 and 11. I mean, it is pure chaos at a point. People are screaming, things are happening on the beach, they're running around and panicking, and I'm sitting back going, I feel the panic, I feel the crazy. And the movie's like a roller coaster. You go from here, and then you go all the way up here, and then you kind of start going back down again because at the end of the film, during the third act, things get dark visually because it becomes nighttime, but also it's a lot more calm, even though the stakes are significantly higher at the end. I don't know if I was fully there during the finality of this story, but then you get a little bit of the aftermath, and I said, well, at least that was creative enough. And my response to the film as a whole is exactly how I felt while I was watching it. Sometimes things would get crazy and hectic, and I was really engaged, even though you couldn't necessarily tell all of the things that were going on. And then other times, I'm so focused on the dialogue and how it just comes across as awkward, sometimes, unnatural, unrealistic, and that did start to take me out of the movie. It is a film with really good things when it comes to the genre, but also things that really start to take it down. And I'm not going to say it's one of Shyamalan's worst. I do respect the fact that he swung for the fences on this one. I would rather have a movie that I didn't really respond to like this than something that's just bland and something we've seen before. And before I give you guys my score, let me know what you thought down below and drop your thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and you want to help out this channel. So I will admit, it took me a while to gather my thoughts on this film because I really do admire the type of movie that it is. On one hand, the premise and certain moments are a beautiful blend of frightening and fascinating. On the other hand, the dialogue can be rough and the execution is messy. But hey, at least Shyamalan goes for it here. That being said, my score is a 50% because I am just right down the middle on all of these different things coming together. But again, there's a lot that he attempts to do, so I'm intrigued and interested to see what the audience response is here for a movie that, again, is unlike anything you will ever see. But did he bring it home for you? And let me know, what is your favorite M. Night Shyamalan movie down below? Stay tuned because we may just have 2 more reviews coming to this channel. Ted Lasso, which I watched a lot of episodes of, season 2, and Snake Eyes, which I'm going to go see here in a couple of hours. All right, you're the best. Thank you guys for everything, including the birthday wishes yesterday. I'll see you soon.